Hey guys, how's it going? I wanted to do a quick little introduction because I'm sure there are some people who don't know me who will be watching this. My name's April Wachtel. I've spent almost 25 years in food, beverage, and hospitality. 17 of those were in restaurants. So I worked my way up from chambermaid and dishwasher all the way up to beverage director and front of house manager. I was a brand ambassador for a number of years for Bacardi Rum and then for a smaller independent spirits company. I launched my own business, Swig and Swallow, maybe about 4 years ago or 5 years ago. That started off just kind of as one-off consulting, then became a batching and delivery service for catering companies and spirits companies, and then I transitioned it into a cocktail mixer company, sold primarily from our website, but also from Whole Foods and Amazon and limited other sort of distribution points. About 5 years ago, I also started consulting with a couple of experiential marketing agencies, so Inspire Marketing and Enthuse Marketing. And in the process of this sort of career evolution, learned a lot of really essential tools about building your personal brand. I'm not talking like Instagram influencer, but I'm talking about the other ways in which your professional reputation precedes you online. So I'm talking everything from LinkedIn to website to learning different etiquette about how you send emails and schedule meetings and things of that nature. So, given everything that was going on with coronavirus, I really wanted to contribute, help in any little way that I could. And I think when I think about people trying to kind of diversify their employment opportunities, having a clean online persona is super key. I want to talk about LinkedIn and website. I'm going to do this tutorial via screencast so you can actually see what I'm doing online. So anyway, let me know if you've got any comments, feedback, requests, anything of that nature. And if I know something about it, I'd be happy to teach it. So without further ado, let's get started.
Okay, so before we talk about LinkedIn specifically as a social media platform, I want to spend 2 seconds talking about the basics of business. In any business, somebody is selling something and somebody is buying something. So if it's a service or if it's a product, you as the seller need to put information out about the product, assure the buyer it's a quality, trustworthy product, ensure the message gets to the buyer, and ensures that they have enough information to make a decision about your product or service versus other options. So, the premise behind creating a LinkedIn profile and creating a personal website is that not only does it enable your potential customer or customers to find you more easily, but it also allows them to gain confidence that you are established and have experience in your respective field. So, that is why LinkedIn and the website, in my mind, are hugely, hugely important to building your career and diversifying your job opportunities. So let's hop into LinkedIn very quickly. So if you're unfamiliar, it's a social media platform. Think of it as more professional Facebook meets Twitter meets Medium, if anyone's familiar. So it started off as a job posting, job searching website, and then over the past few years has evolved much more into a content platform. So I use it not only to ensure that my online presence looks polished, but I also stay abreast of macro trends happening within worlds relevant to me, so food and beverage and entrepreneurship. But I also am able to publish either just quick little updates about what's on my mind on a given day, or I can publish more intricate, more lengthy sort of articles in the articles section. So I'll show you that in just a second. I'm not actually going to show you how to make your own LinkedIn account. It takes literally a minute and a half to set it up. And they guide you through it super quickly and super thoroughly. So I'm not going to show you how to do that, but I'll show you what information I think is essential here. So this is my profile section. It shows my title here. I highly recommend having a nice looking photo. Ideally, if you're in the people business, one where you're smiling or you look approachable. And then contact info, you have your choice of how much or how little of this you want to display. I don't have my email publicly available, but there's other ways you can get in touch with me, messaging me on LinkedIn. Moving right along in the About section here, I've noticed a lot of people leave this kind of sparse or blank. I would highly recommend putting a short bio in here of yourself and keeping it updated. I include, again, a bio about myself, showing sort of my history and trajectory within the industry, as well as different press mentions. And then down here, there's an opportunity to add in other sort of media content about yourself. So other press you might have gotten, other things that allow people to, again, find relevant information about you that assures them that you are a credible person within your space. So as you go down here, there's a little dashboard. This just shows who's recently viewed your profile, number of views on your last post. I actually don't know what the timeline is for this, but search appearances here. So where people are actually searching for people like myself. Over here, this is articles and activity. So this shows all the articles I have published. And then you go to posts, and this shows my last posts. The analytics here, like how many views on this particular post, this is only, you're the only person who can see this information, but this stuff is publicly available. So the number of likes or applause or whatever, and the number of comments on a particular post that you made. I think it's super important to be posting regularly. I don't do it every day, but you could theoretically post multiple times a day. And again, this builds up your track record effectively. Okay, so back to the profile. Scrolling down, it shows you experience. Again, this gives people confidence that you have been in the industry for a while. It showcases some of your accomplishments. There's a place for education down here and any volunteer experience, skills and endorsements. This, especially if you're getting a consulting company up and going, or if you're in the market looking for a new job, I would highly recommend you try to get some endorsements here. So the way you do this is either people do it voluntarily, or you reach out to people you have worked with who you think would be comfortable writing you effectively a testimonial. LinkedIn prompts your network to effectively validate your expertise in a specific area. But the more extensive ones, I'm scrolling around, the more extensive ones here, so recommendations, these are best if, I would highly recommend that you reach out to people for recommendations here. Accomplishments, these are just miscellaneous things, projects, languages, etc. Interests down at the bottom. Again, to get started, I really think you should just put a picture, put a little title here, put something in the about page, and then fill in your work experience. And then you're good to go. When I post, and I'll just show you another post here. Let me just see. Post an activity. When I post, I like to use specific hashtags. I change them depending on the content in the post. So in this particular one, this one was about Giuseppe Gallo. Congratulations, Giuseppe. Getting an investment from Pernod Ricard. And so the relevant hashtags here, I put entrepreneurship, entrepreneur, spirits business, cocktails, mixology, et cetera, et cetera. And this enables the right people to find the post. I also follow a bunch of these hashtags. And so again, that will ensure that the content that's being shown to you is what you want to see. So that's it. I'm going to stop talking about LinkedIn, but to me, you start posting here, you're going to see an uptick in not only networking, but also potentially in people reaching out to you for collaborations or, potentially job opportunities. You can also specifically look for jobs that are advertised on LinkedIn. There's a whole ton of options. Again, I'm not going to get super into it, but I think that will get people up and running. Okay, so we're going to move on to the website portion of the tutorial. I'm going to show you how to start your own website, get your own URL, and your own professional email in Squarespace. As I mentioned, I'm not affiliated with any products I might mention here. I'm just a happy user. I have numerous websites through Squarespace, and it's super quick and easy and very beautiful templates. So you would go to squarespace.com and get started. I have an account, so I'm going to go to Account Dashboard. They show you some sort of random selected templates over here. I'm going to say we want a professional services website because I assume most people listening and watching are starting a personal or professional services website. They have a bunch of options here. We're going to go with the low-hanging fruit over here in the corner. It's a template called Knoll. And you can always change the template at any point at a later date. So this is just what we will go with. They ask you to name your site. You can change this also at any point. We will just name it. And then they do a super quick overview of how to use Squarespace. They have an assistant that pops up here with a bit more extensive information on how to get started. And I'll just orient you here. So on the left side, we've got our menu bar. On the bottom, we've got our sort of return to account. Here is where you actually edit the website, and you can increase the size, so is full screen, or minimize using this little arrow. This is where you would choose your subscription. So it allows you to use the website for 14 days without putting any payment information in. I believe the cheapest option is $16 a month if you buy a 1-month subscription. That number decreases on a monthly basis if you purchase annually. So annual subscriptions are cheaper per month, but if you want to just have a website for 1 month, $16 and you can have a personal website. It's, again, very user-friendly. So on the left-hand side, immediately we are going to jump into settings, which is where you would buy your domain. So you can use one you already have, or you can get one. Let's just say we want to get one. Cocktailindustryresources.com, sure, $20. Great. Taxes are additional. Proceed to checkout, and they already have free privacy, which is awesome. So you don't get spammed by a bunch of solicitors. Okay, so theoretically, we've purchased our domain. Now we can pop into email, and here is where you can buy professional email affiliated with your website. So for my old business, Swig and Swallow, it was swigandswallow.com. And so I had info at, hello at, username at swigandswallow.com, literally by purchasing through this service. So it's a very good professional touch to have the email that you're sending from match the URL of your website. We can't, by the way, purchase this now because I didn't actually get the domain. And that's how you get set up. For anyone who's feeling antsy and wants to stop watching, you can stop now. That's the bulk of the information. But if you want to get a little bit more nitty-gritty about what information belongs in a website of this nature, as well as some brief sort of editing tips, I'm going to do that now. So I have my website here to just sort of showcase information that I think should be on the website. High-res photo. Again, doesn't need to be a professional headshot, although those are nice. However, you can take a high-res shot with any smartphone, just get good lighting. Natural lighting is best. Take a whole ton of photos, and if you need any sort of post-production editing, you can either go on services like Fiverr.com, where they have freelancers who do that, or just ask somewhere in our cocktail network, and I'm sure there's people who can edit. Over here, again, I think you should have a summary of a little bit of your history in the industry, what you do now, ways to contact you, and any relevant press. Don't be intimidated if you don't have a lot of press. I think almost all of this, if not all of this, for me, I built up in the past 10 years. I know that's a long time, but you start somewhere, and once one media outlet speaks about you, it makes it easier to get other media outlets to reach out to you. Again, ways to contact me. I decided to remove my email from here, but I connected to LinkedIn, so you can contact me, and there's also the contact me page, and this sends an email to my actual email address. I have press here. Honestly, my website is really minimal right now. I kind of don't do as many of the cocktail classes. I do much more consulting these days, so this is like a little less relevant than I'd like it to be, but I still have the information here in case anyone cares. So again, testimonials, any press, ways to contact you, and just a little bio. So this is my website. This is the information I think is critical, and this is how you edit it in the website itself. So click on the Edit tab, and it allows me to edit the site header or the body of the website. So we'll just edit the body saying, so we're going to edit the button here as well, and we'll edit the text saying, quick note here is the click-through URL. When you have a button, it has to send you somewhere. And so it's sending you to a different page, which is the consultations page here. So while we can change this URL, we need to change it to an existing page. So basically, we need to change the page before we change the URL, or else the URL will break. You can change the size of the button, the alignment on the page, etc. just going to apply those changes. So now, again, this is where you'd put your bio and a button to contact you or whatever the call to action is. And this is where you would upload your photo. We can either trash the existing image and just upload yours directly, or we can edit the existing one. And that's anywhere from the design, so how the image displays on the page, to the details of the image itself. So brightness, contrast, saturation, you can crop it, you can apply a filter, etc. Let's do canceled. All right, so those are superficial, super easy ways to update your website. Something else I'd like to point out is in Squarespace, you'll notice if you kind of mouse over different portions of the page, there are these little teardrops that appear, and that enables you to add a content block, meaning that they have specific settings for images, videos, audio, text, quotes, etc. They also have these things called spacers. So for example, if I wanted this image to have more space on either side of it, as it's displayed in the website, I would add a spacer to either side. I'll show you how to add, let's say, a line. So there's a line, and that's it. And then it's done, save, and then we want to pop it out to see what it looks like in full screen. So again, it's super easy to edit. I'm going to show you maybe one more thing, and then we'll finish up. We're going to pop back out to pages. So if I am editing a page, this shows the linked page in the main navigation, and this is the main navigation. You'll notice that about corresponds here, testimonials here, consultations here. So not only can I change the name of the page, but I can change the name of the URL that it sends you to. And for SEO, which is search engine optimization, which is how the internet effectively finds your content, it is helpful to have descriptive notes in the URL or somewhere else on the page. So if I say I am a bar consultant who specializes in large-scale productions, when somebody is looking for that type of service in Google, the more descriptive it is, the easier it is for people to find me. If I just say I'm a bar consultant, that's not really enough information. So a little bit of that is going to come through in the URL, and then the content of the body of the page is going to help support the internet crawling and finding your site. One more thing I want to mention here is if I'm editing a page, I don't necessarily want potential customers to see me editing in real time. So you can disable each page as you're working on it and then enable it when you're finished with your edits. Okay, so I think that is it for the super quick website tutorial. I hope this was helpful. So I want to add a couple things here at the end as well. The results that you get from LinkedIn and from your website are directly related to the effort that you are putting into it. So if you kind of build a LinkedIn profile, set it and forget it, and never interact on it, almost nothing is going to happen. But if you are posting there every day or every week, and you're commenting on relevant information in other people's feeds, and you're sharing out insights that you have or things that you find interesting in the industry, chances are you're going to start getting network requests and potentially business opportunities. Same with the website. If you set it up and never update it, the chances that somebody comes to it, sees something from 5 years ago and decides you're still in business, that's pretty unlikely. So you really do have to socialize the information that you're creating. It will not do anything for you if you just set it up and leave it. So I guess last thing to add is don't be intimidated if you don't have a lot of information to put onto your website or onto your LinkedIn profile. Just getting something is exponentially better than nothing. And as your accomplishments accumulate, it makes getting future opportunities that much easier. So I hope this was helpful, guys. Please let me know if you've got questions, comments, concerns, or requests for additional tutorials, and hope you have a great rest of your day.